What's up, guys? Hope it's going well. You're here at Splash Bros with me, Lampies, and my boy Skitty Skitty Skrrr Cbreezy.
Away, guys. Welcome back to Splash Bros. I hope you all are doing well, and once again, welcome to our YouTube channel. Remember, hashtag hit that jumper.
And hashtag like and subscribe. Just do that. Anyway, today it's an interesting topic. We're going to discuss future dynasties, maybe the New Orleans Pelicans and the Grizzlies. So yeah, we're just going to play this. Okay, just to say this is 2K19. So sorry, but Zion is here. He's no, not the real guy. But yeah, we're going to play, and then we're just going to talk about what we think. So yeah,
Yes, basically, short and sweet.
yeah. Let's just quickly make it. My opinion. I think the Pelicans is in a great position. Just to quickly start with that, I think they have definitely the you can say the young players to make that team great. Really, that's what I think. Just quickly to say that.
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, the Pelicans were given a hand and they took it. I mean, the first pick fell into their laps, and that changed the whole dynamic of this franchise.
And you think
So
that?
this franchise,
Sorry,
yeah,
do you think that 80 trade also maybe? If
I think the only
you
reason they did the 80 trade because they got the first pick.
okay,
It's
okay,
my personal opinion, because the 80 trade didn't work out because they didn't want to trade 80 because why would you trade Anthony Davis? But then they got the first pick, and obviously they knew, look, we could take Zion Williamson, and if we don't want Zion, we can take John Morant. And look, John Morant's already in the playoffs, and he's also in his rookie season. So for me, the Pelicans, they were going nowhere, um, and then all of a sudden, everything changed. Not only did Zion Williamson fall into their lap, but another All-Star in Brandon Ingram, maybe a future All-Star in Lonzo Ball, depending on how everything plans out. A good role play in Josh Jackson, and subsequently also cap space, and not only cap space, but 6 first-round picks for the next future, as well as the picks
yes.
that they can have.
Okay, I'm just gonna say
So,
quickly before we go on, we're going to do not a lengthy video, I would say, but about the Lakers and the future of the Lakers. But that will be in the future. If you guys really are
yeah,
interested in that, you can just hit it in the comments. But yeah, back to what we think about the Pelicans. So yeah, I don't know. Do you think Zion will be the same if he comes back? Do you think he has a long career ahead of him with his injuries before the season even started? So, yeah, okay, he's back now, but still, uh, what do you
I
think?
don't know. It's difficult to say because, like we always say, injuries are part of the game.
Yeah,
But looking at it from a medical and even a logical standpoint, this is a guy that weighs about, I don't know what, almost 300 pounds. I think it's maybe over 300 pounds. He's near 300 pounds, and this guy has a vertical of about, give or take, 40 inches. Now, I don't know about you, but a guy that big isn't supposed to jump that high. And that could really hurt knees. And knees are a big part of your playing style. So going
yeah,
forward, look, he looked fantastic in preseason. He got injured. They said it was only going to be a 4-week, 6-week injury. It ended up being much longer.
yeah,
So that was the first sign of, look, here's something wrong. But at the end of the day, when he played fantastic, he played brilliant, and he is an absolute game changer for the Pelicans.
yeah, definitely, definitely. He's definitely, I think he, um, it means a lot for the franchise. And also, okay, just want to put it in. He signed with Jordan, so also for Jordan, he means a lot.
Yeah,
For the
poster boy
Pelicans,
for different franchises.
and now 2K21, he's in the trailer, and it's just, I think it's really good for the team, uh, and for the franchise. I think they are lucky to have him. They may have lost 80, but in return they maybe have found a future MVP, and also in that sense they can win their first what do you call it, championship. Um, yeah,
I mean, like, there's only one way up at this stage because even if things fall apart and they mess it up, they still got a pretty high floor.
yeah,
Because if Zion is an injury prone player, that's all right. Take the best available offer. You still have got Brandon Ingram to build around. If you don't want to build around Brandon Ingram, you've got picks. You know
yeah,
what to do with them. You can package them for players. You also have cap space. And I know New Orleans isn't really a big name franchise. We won't necessarily take the biggest players, but they could still attract decent traffic to the Pelicans. I mean, when they had 80, they attracted Holiday, got Rondo. They were good enough to trade for Cousins. So it's not a franchise that doesn't want to win. It's just a franchise that has been unlucky. And
yeah,
now this is maybe the first time they've get. And for me, they should have just taken their foot off the pedal and said, wait a minute, we've got these young assets, we've got these picks. Let's just take things slow. But they didn't. They signed favors, which isn't a bad signing. They signed Redick. They wanted to be good now. But I think they should have just waited just a little bit.
yeah,
Give Jackson Hayes more minutes. Give Neil Alexander Walker more minutes. Trade Drew Holiday to a contender while his price is still high. Take the best available offer. Build this team because now Drew Holiday is hurting the progression of Lonzo Ball and is hurting the progression of Neil Alexander Walker as well. That is
mm,
two good young point guards, but now you're playing Drew Holiday. And I know Drew Holiday is a former All Star, fantastic defender. I think he's all defensive first team, but you are looking towards the future,
yeah.
and you can't look towards the future with Drew Holiday at this moment. So I think they should have just taken things slow, but they're still in a fantastic position. I mean, they're still in a fantastic position going forward. Like you said, they could possibly be the next dynasty. The future looks fantastic.
So
Nothing.
do you think they can be it? They can be the next dynasty if you just look at the team currently,
Uh,
and also with their if you just take their development also into it.
I think you should firstly just start by if you look at the team by itself and you look at the team alone, you look at the players, you look at the options, then it's a yes. But if you look at the league as a whole, now things change because there's two players in Dallas which could hurt their chances.
Yeah,
There's a player still current MVP and still probably gonna be future MVP in Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Golden State Warriors aren't done either with what they are doing. So, looking at the whole dynamic of the league, you wouldn't necessarily say things are going to be great. But
yeah,
like I said, if Ingram can do what he did, being, and I mean this as the best compliment possible, being a poor man's Kevin Durant, if he can be that for the Pelicans, you sorted on shooting. If Zion can stay fit and healthy, you've got your superstar. Throw
yeah,
in a solid season from Lonzo Ball, and all of a sudden, you might be looking at a big three here. I don't know what's your opinion, but look, I'm not. I haven't given up on Lonzo Ball yet. I never liked him, but I still think he has a lot of potential. I mean, he was so good in college. I think the Lakers, as a franchise, was what was toxic and what hurt his development. And I think a fresh start is just what he
yeah,
wanted.
yeah. I think it did good for him. Uh, Yeah, like you said, Pullman's uh, KD, in all respect, but he can shoot, he can pull a free, and he is also insanely tall. So yeah,
No, I mean, he's the slender man. This guy's got insanely long arms. He can shoot good. And look, I like Ingram. I think he's a fantastic player. I think a lot of people hated too soon on him. And this season, the thing that he's done the best for me was not just only improving on his scoring, but also on his efficiency. I think he shoots something like 40% from free, and he's just been so efficient as well.
yeah,
That's why I think the Pelicans could be fantastic because Ingram doesn't even give you empty scoring stats. He gives you efficient stats.
mm, yeah, yeah. No, definitely, definitely, definitely. No, I personally think they have a bright future. Like even without AD, I think just the talent in that team is quite insane. Like you said, yes, there is a Dallas Mavericks team. Yes, there is still Golden State is still formidable, and we don't know what is going to happen when Giannis contract ends. So we don't know. We don't know if Giannis
Mm.
goes to a team that makes them even more unstoppable. I don't know.
Yeah, but I think you should look at timelines and assessing the timelines. I think if the Pelicans could keep this young core together for the next 4 years, I think then the opportunity for them to be the best in the league will present
Mm,
itself. But not now. I mean, look, it's Zion's first season. Ingram, I think what Ingram was the second pick in the 2016 draft, so he's only been in the league for 4 years. Lonzo Ball was the second pick in the 2017 draft. He's also been in the league for 3 years. Jackson Hayes, Neil Alexander Walker, they're also rookies. So this team is young. And there's a couple of good pieces. And for me, they've got the cap space. Obviously, they're going to have to give a contract out to Ball and to Ingram. But there's a lot of flexibility going forward. And the opportunity isn't now, it's later on. And the
mm.
way the players are playing now, that's what's showing me that they could be the next big thing because of how good they are at this young stage.
No, they don't even at their prime, like you said. They're not even at their prime. So yeah, okay, but yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
it's I just sorry, it's now almost half time. So yeah, we're going to talk about Memphis Grizzlies. But yeah, you were saying,
okay,
Cbreezy?
just quick before we switch around. Honest opinion from the top of your head, do you think the Pelicans could win a title in the next 10 years?
Yes, definitely. If they don't trade away their current players, I think they can definitely win one. And you? What do you think? If you were a betting man,
If I were straight top of the head, being honest as can, I think they would probably get something I would like to call the Oklahoma City Thunder syndrome. I think they're going to be fantastic. I think they're going to go into every season as a contender, and they're probably just going to be fall short and choke one or two times. I don't know. Just looking at the league, for some reason, I just can't see anyone getting past Luka and Porzingis, especially being in the same conference.
yeah,
So I think a lot of finals, but just falling short. Just. It's too difficult to say now.
yeah, definitely. Okay, so Memphis Grizzlies. Yeah, what do you think?
Okay, so the Memphis Grizzlies is somewhat of a, I don't know how to put this, but a nice surprise. Uh, Out of nowhere, Look, the Grizzlies were pretty much irrelevant since trading Marcus Sol. Obviously, since they lost probably Zach Randolph, irrelevant. Gasol was getting old, and when they traded Conley, I thought, okay, going into a rebuild. They had Jaren Jackson Jr. I mean, he had a good first season, but not a great first season. And I think John Morant was a good fit, and I think the Grizzlies were going to be good, but not now. And then all of a sudden, they have just been fantastic. Jonas Valanciunas has been fantastic. Kyle Anderson has been great. Delon Brooks has been fantastic. Brandon Clark has been great. And not just the players, but the front office. They had Iguodala. They traded him for Justice Winslow. Justice Winslow is something like 23, great defender, good combo guard. He struggled with injuries, but they basically gave up nothing for another young asset. And
Yeah,
this team going forward could be a problem. This is a new era for the Grizzlies. And look, they are miles ahead of where they should be.
yeah, yeah. Definitely, definitely. Do you think they need maybe one big player in the team, or do you think they are at the moment they are fine the way they are?
Well, if you look at it, I think at this stage, um, John Morant is 1A and Jaren Jackson Jr. is 1B. I wouldn't necessarily say that John Morant is the clear best player on the team, but I think somewhere along the line, they are going to have to choose who is going to be the guy to take them forward. And at this stage, it's John Morant. But for me, because of what Jaren Jackson Jr. does, not only offensively, but defensively, and not only the way he does it offensively, but by scoring in the paint and scoring from outside the arc, he could maybe be that guy. But then again, John Morant is the high flying, he's got insane athleticism, so he's probably going to be the poster boy. Um, but I don't necessarily think they need another player. I think they just need better surrounding players, maybe a better fit.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe yeah, just like okay, yeah, just a better fit. Yeah. Okay, Jaya Morant is obviously going to be the rookie of the year. I can't see that there's anyone else going to take it from him this year. Maybe Zion could have, competed, but he was injured. Or yeah,
Yeah,
but
the only way I could possibly see John Morant losing his rookie of the year is if the Pelicans gets into the playoffs and the Grizzlies don't.
yeah, yeah. It's going to yeah, I don't know. But Jared, he's definitely for me he's the rookie of the year. I think he's in the top. He carried his team well. Um, but yeah, we should yeah, we will see. We will see.
I mean, I would also give it to John Morant because no one expected the Grizzlies to be in the playoffs.
Yeah,
I mean, nobody even gave them a second thought. You know, teams that were given a second thought that could maybe be in the playoffs was the Pelicans and the Thunder, maybe even the Suns, but no one looked at the Grizzlies. Everyone thought, another bad season, they're gonna get a good another player, then they're gonna be good. But they've speed up that process, and that is nice because now you create a winning culture. You don't get stuck in that rebuild. I mean, the rebuild isn't over, but you've made so much progress. And for me, one or two new players, not even new players, just wait. Give the players time to develop. Get them to where they want to be, and then they'll be the players you want them to be. So I think time should just, they could be a great team looking at the roster now, but not yet a dynasty. Not with this group. I mean, Valanciunas is good. He's still fairly young, but I don't think he's in the long-term plans.
yeah. Do you think they could be a team that consistently gets into playoffs in the future? Uh, or what?
I
What's
think,
your opinion?
yeah, I think they would be very similar to the original Grid and Grind Grizzlies. The Marcus All, Zach Randolph, Mike Conley Grizzlies. They were
Mm,
consistently in the playoffs, and they were a difficult playoff matchup. That was tough.
yeah,
They won't necessarily uh, get far into the playoffs, but they will push you to a 6-7 gamer. The one season they made the Western Conference Finals. But they were a difficult matchup to get, and that was a matchup you didn't want because they could go anyway. I mean, like I said, grit and grind. They played hard, they played tough. And I'm not saying this is a grit and grind Grizzlies. This is a whole different team, whole different mentality, whole different playing style. But at the end of the day, for me, I think this is a team that could get consistently in the playoffs, be a difficult matchup.
uh,
But at the end of the day, I'm not sold on the team yet.
yeah, yeah. Do you think they could be a team that can cause upsets also? You know, if I'm understanding what you're saying, one of the teams that causes one or two upsets,
Yeah,
maybe take out the big team. Uh,
not now,
Not now, but
not now
in the future,
necessarily.
like we also said in
Yeah,
the
definitely
yeah
in the future, but currently no. But you know, later on, I think they could really cause a few upsets, and not even later on cause the upset, but be a contender because I think they could be that good. But like I said, not just sold completely on the team. They've got good players, they've got good pieces, they got a good overall roster. But apart from Jaren Jackson Jr. and John Morant, they really don't have that one person that pops out of the page. We talked about the Pelicans earlier, and they've got that third player. They've got that Lonzo Ball, that mystery. Isn't he, what's gonna happen there, that wild card. But the Grizzlies don't really have that. They don't have that third, you know,
yeah
player that could really be an X factor.
yeah I understand what you're saying. So basically we're just saying they definitely a playoff team in the upcoming years, but not
Yeah, for
yet
sure.
a championship winning team, if I'm understanding what you're saying.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you look at it statistically, and this is with a big thing, the big debate and the best way to go forward. I mean, at this stage, Ja Morant is putting up, if I'm not mistaken, around 17, 18 points per game, which
Yeah,
is fair. Which is Jaren Jackson Jr. is putting around same. I think he's also around 18, 17. Same amount. Okay, Jaren Jackson is in his second season, Ja Morant in his first season. I think at their peaks, Jaren Jackson at best is going to give you 24, 25. I think at John Morant's peak, at best, is going to give you 28, 27. That's just points per game,
yeah,
which is fantastic. If both can give you that, you've got a fantastic team. But like I said, those two are good. But what if the one gets injured? Thinking about realistically, who's going to fill that spot? Because if I'm thinking about the Pelicans, I know who's going to fill that spot. You've got Lonzo Ball. He could turn up. But could Dillon Brooks, could Kyle Anderson, could Brandon Clark really fill that gap? Could they really give you 27 points per game? Could they give you 24 points per game? I don't think so. Justin Winslow, if he's fit and healthy, maybe works on his offense, he might. But I'm not sold on this roster at this moment. But like I said, this is still early days. John Morant has a lot of potential. But I think the one thing that could hurt this team, and that's the same thing uh, for me as with Zion, is both of these players, John Morant and Zion Williamson, are highly reliant on their athleticism. And
yeah.
injuries and athleticism don't go well together.
No,
So
yeah,
that
it's
could be trouble,
no,
you
that
know.
definitely could be trouble. Yeah,
Yeah, for me, a player like Brandon Ingram and Jaren Jackson Jr. is fine because they are good shooting players. And I'm not saying John Morant is a bad shooting player. I'm just saying Ja Morant uses his athleticism to his advantage, the same as Russell Westbrook. But Brandon Ingram uses his length and shooting to his advantage. Jaren Jackson Jr. uses his strength and length to his advantage, also to his shooting.
Yeah,
So I think injuries would stop them. But like I said, just give them time. But a thing that might be against them is the fact that if you have a free agent, and we're talking big free agent here, let's be honest, you don't want to go to Memphis. You don't want to go to Memphis, Tennessee. Uh, I don't think that's anyone's fit. I mean, not to get too stereotypical, but I don't really see NBA players, fancying going to Memphis too much.
yeah, yeah. No, understand what you're saying. Yeah, it's yeah. I think they maybe need to make a few changes and then see what happens. Maybe get that Lonzo Ball, as I can say, someone like that who can be a wild card, so if I can say it like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, that's the thing. You want an unexpected player. You want to expect the unexpected. Because that's if you're gonna be routine and, for example, if you are a player, especially if you do it not so good, but if you are a player that, let's say, your best move is your fadeaway and that's all you do, then the players are gonna know how to defend against your fadeaway, except if you really really do it good.
yeah,
But if you have your fadeaway and you could do other things as well, then you're unpredictable. And that's the thing what I feel the Pelicans could go for, because they still have Lonzo Ball. And the question is still around Lonzo Ball, because he does enough for you to still believe in him, but he doesn't do so much that you think is going to be what you expect him to be.
yeah, yeah,
For example, his expectations was, oh, he's going to be the next Stephen Curry, but he hasn't shown that. But he hasn't been terrible. So he's just in the middle. So you really don't know what you're going to get from Lonzo Ball.
yeah,
And I don't know. He could be an all star because he was and is that good. But he could also just be a terrible role player because that is also something he has shown he could be.
yeah, yeah. But I think that will be the end of the video. Just want to say thank you for you guys for watching. We appreciate it a lot. Remember to like and to subscribe. From me, cheers.
Yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Like Lambi said, we really appreciate everything. And if you're feeling like you want to like and subscribe, we really appreciate it. And also drop a comment. Tell us what you think about the Pelicans. Tell us what you think about the Grizzlies. And once again, like always, keep that jumper.
Ja, hit that jumper.